True. I have been nervous. Very, very nervous. But why dost thou say I'm mad? This disease has not affected and dulled my senses. In fact, of all, my hearing has been very acute. Very, very acute. I've heard things from the heavens and from hell itself. How then am I mad? And observe how healthy, how calmly I can tell this story. It is impossible to tell you how the first of my ideas entered the noggin of my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. There was no objection, no passion. I loved the old fool. He wronged me not, gave no insult. For his capital I had no desire. It was his eye. Yes, it was. One resembled that of a vulture's, pale blue with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. So, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now you fancy me mad, but madmen know nothing. You should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with caution and with foresight. Especially with dissimulation. I went to work. I have never been kinder to the old man than the week before I killed him. Every night at midnight, I opened his door, turning the latch. I opened it very gently, and when I created a sufficient opening for my head, I gently thrust in a dark lantern. Closed, completely closed, so that no light shone through. And then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly. Very, very slowly. This is not to disturb the old man's sleep. It took me a whole hour to place my whole head into that opening, so far that I could see him lay upon his bed. Would a madman have been so wise as this? When my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously. Oh, so cautiously. I undid it just so much that a single thin ray fell upon the vulture eye. And I did this for half a fortnight consecutively. But I found the eye always closed, thus it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning, when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber. I spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he had passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound gentleman, indeed, to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon while he slept. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. A watcher's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph to think that there I was, opening the door, little by little. And he did not even dream of my secret deeds or thoughts.
Who's there?
I kept quite still. For a whole hour I did not move a muscle. In the meantime, I did not hear him lie back down. He was still sitting up on the bed listening, just as I have done, night after night, hearkening to the death watches in the wall. Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was a groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. I knew he had been up. He muttered,
"'Tis only a wind in a chimney. It is a mouse running across the floor.
or,
"'Tis merely a cricket who has made a single chirp."
but he found all in vain, because death, in approaching him, had stalked with his black shadow before him and enveloped the victim. It was the mournful influence of the unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he neither saw nor heard, to feel the presence of my head within the room. After I had waited long and patiently, I opened a slight crevice in the lantern, only until a thin, dim ray beamed on the hideous vulture eye. 'Twas open, and I grew furious with it looking at me, and I it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow in my bones. However, I could see no other feature of the old man. There came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury, as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier in courage. But even yet I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye, and meantime the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker, and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you that I am nervous. So I am. And now, at the dead hour of the night, amid the dreadful silence of that old house, so strange a noise as this excited me to uncontrollable terror. Yet, for some minutes longer, I refrained and stood still. The beating grew louder. It grew louder. I thought the heart must burst, and a new anxiety seized me. Who bids me at this hour?
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's Aiden.
Hi, I'm Detective Aid, and we are here because we are concerned about the resident here. May we come in?
As you wish.
First, we're going to ask you some questions, then we'll be out of your hair.
After thy questions, thou shalt bid me farewell.
That is what my associate slash brother slash friend slash accomplice said.
Prithee, what dost thou accuse me of?
Nothing. So are you Harmonia Justin Beyonder Mason, the owner of this house?
Why dost thou suggest this? Does mine own age show on my face like the men on a whore? Nay! Ownership of this property I am not.
Okay, so who is the owner, and where did he go?
Methinks he went up north, for he has business, and some may say, pleasure.
Well, that sure is an interesting thought. We have reason to believe, however, that he has been murdered.
Zounds! Is thou sure of this? I shan't believe your claim.
We know this may be a lot to take in, so we'll take a break and resume questioning.
If thou wishes.
Let's go. Come in. This guy totally did it, but we have no hard evidence. We have to get him to admit it, but how?
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Twilight, by the way.
What did you think?
It was alright.
So, the real tough question. Team Ed or Team Jacob? Well, I'm Team...
Villains! I did the deed! Rip up the blanks! It's his heart! The beating of his hideous heart!
Well, that was easier than anticipated. Now that's the skin of a killer. Yeah. By the way, I'm Team Jacob. Dude! What the fuck?
Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. Dang, that's pretty good actually.
Good first take.
Damn, I almost started crying.
Good
It's
first
like, I'm not even kidding, I almost started crying.
Okay. No, but that's the form. Wait. Let's hear it back. I think that's good enough for the purposes of our film. It's janky enough to fit our needs.
Here's your drink.